Welcome to Kenosha Community Media. We are interviewing Rich Schmerling, who is on the board of directors of Kenosha Community Media and is a great volunteer as well. Rich, nice to see you today. Maybe if we could get a little background, how did you get involved in community television?
I don't know if it goes all the way back to my childhood, but my mom had gotten tickets to go see Bozo's Circus. I was like 12 years old, and they picked me out of the crowd of children to play in a game, Pin the Nose on Bozo. And it came back as a summer rerun, and I was hooked ever since. I like the entertainment industry.
Yeah. What's so special about community television or community media?
What we do for the community, recording events, getting involved with other nonprofits and helping them get their message out, promoting Kenosha, promoting our community and the nonprofits.
We are in this crisis mode right now where everybody's sort of isolated right now. How are you dealing with the crisis so far?
It's tough on all of us. It's a very trying time in America and the world. Um, they always say nobody's promised tomorrow, but let's hope we can get past this, that hopefully it does end towards the end of April and it doesn't prolong. But I've heard of events that are scheduled for July being canceled, such as Italian Fest in Milwaukee. And they're not even going to do it this year, but they said they're going to come back bigger and better next year. So that's a plus.
One thing you've been active too, you've been recording bands as well. How did you get involved in doing that?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it started in the mid 80s. Jerry Host owned the Midtown Lounge and he had jam sessions in there. And prior to that, I was involved with a video store called Video Encounters. And Video Encounters sold giant screens, and we also rented tapes. And Jerry Host was one of the few bars. There was Ralph's Corner Tap in Kenosha that had purchased a giant screen, and Jerry Host had purchased one, and he had these really awesome jam sessions. I must have about 300 VHS and some beta tapes of those jams that one of these days I'm going to break them out of the cobwebs. And we caught some good acts. I know that I also was fortunate enough to, when the Brat Stop had burnt down and reopened, they had Cheap Trick there. And George Herman, who owns Superior Light and Sound, had become acquainted with me. And next thing I know, we're running a single camera there. And we hooked up into Jerry Rasmussen's giant screen. And at the time, he only had one TV set. I like trying to capture a moment in time, something that isn't going to repeat, something that isn't going to happen again. It's a one-shot deal. You can't script it out. You take your camera out, you hang it up in the air, put it on a tripod, hold it. And I've enjoyed doing some really good bands. I got one of Pat Travers that I did Facebook Live that's got 37,500 views.
And to see these videos, they can go on your Facebook page?
Absolutely. My Facebook page is totally public.
Did you do something in TV like played a Wolfman or something like that?
Oh, sure. Years ago, there was a Lou Reed Halloween costume concert, and some friends of mine were going, and they wanted me to, go along with them. And one of the gentlemen had a natural V widow's peak, so of course he said he was going to go as Dracula. His girlfriend was going to make him a cape with a red lining and the collar, and it was very nice looking, very authentic. And I said, well, what the heck am I going to go as? And one of our mutual friends said, well, you got the beard. And my brother, when he had his beard, he just put on some makeup and glued hair on his hands. And I thought, well, that's a novel approach. Or no, he glued a little hair on, and then he turned rabbit fur gloves inside out for his hands. And I went to Goodwill and I bought like a half a dozen wigs, washed them real well. And I had a good friend that was somewhat of a makeup artist. And we started cutting locks of hair off and we literally glued them to my face, to my hands, and to my chest. And then out of, I think there was 15,000 people at the concert. And out of those 15,000, I was fortunate enough to take third place. And my buddy dressed up as Dracula, he took fifth place. And then from there, I started writing letters to Dr. Cadaverino. And Dr. Cadaverino was the TV host for Nightmare Theater. Later, I took a spin on that and I created my own company called Nightmare Presentations Incorporated, which we might be reviving in the near future. I've got some ideas and producing different things, and it's time to bring the corporation back, I think.
Okay, we'll wrap it up with one more question, and that is, why do you think people should join or volunteer or get involved with Kenosha Community Media?
Well, one of the things we need all the help we can get. The more people you get involved, the better it is. One last thing I want to mention is my association with Mark Ruffalo. I actually lived with his sister when he was starring in Just Like Heaven and Rumor Has It, and was fortunate enough to meet him on one occasion. And then on another occasion, we talked briefly on the phone. Now, there's a guy that's doing something. I'd like to get him involved with our community again.
Well, it was great talking to you today, Rich. Thank you so much for, again, for all your support and involvement in Kenosha Community Media, and thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.